Hello, I'm Ronald White, and this is going to be a quick demonstration of how you can rapidly integrate Twitter user data with your Salesforce contact data. Twitter has an excellent API. It's very well documented. I recommend you check it out, dev.twitter.com. I'm going to be calling the get users. And to do that, I need to authenticate, and the easiest way to authenticate is to create a application, apps.twitter.com. And once you have that application created, you can generate your keys, which will be used for authentication. And I recommend you store those keys within Salesforce versus storing them in the code inside a custom metadata type. And you can see here I've got my endpoint, my consumer key, and my consumer secret. This is the Twitter provider class that's responsible for doing all the heavy lifting between the API and Salesforce. You can see in the constructor I'm initializing the custom metadata type and the access token. The access token is returned by this method, and what this guy is doing is simply just calling the Twitter endpoint specifically for authorization of applications. It's providing the consumer key and the consumer secret, and what it's returning back is the access token. That access token is used to authenticate for this method and any method we decide to build in the future. And here's where the deserialization is actually happening. And again, it's deserializing based on the structure of this class and a response back from Twitter. I decided to use this in a trigger just for demonstration purposes. So some interesting stuff here you'll see when I actually make the callout. This callout's happening based on a trigger. Now you cannot do callouts from trigger unless they're future callouts. And that's what this annotation does. Because it's a future method, you can only pass in primitives and collections. So that's what you're seeing here, this collection versus just passing the object record, in this case contact directly. So I have a map of IDs and strings. The ID is the contact ID and the string is the Twitter handle. And what I'm doing here is I'm saying that if you have a Twitter handle and if your Twitter handle has changed, then go ahead and add the ID and the Twitter handle to a map, and then go ahead and pass that map to the Twitter callout. So let's take a look at that callout. Again, add future method, not bound to the transaction. I'm receiving the Twitter contacts. I'm requiring a map of ID and string. I'm calling that Twitter contacts. And what I'm doing here is I'm saying for every ID that you encounter within this map, get the value, which remember is the Twitter handle, and pass that to the Twitter provider. Then what you're going to do is you're going to build a contact with that very same ID, and you're going to set the field Twitter followers based on the followers count that's returned from the API, and then you're going to do an update. We'll go to contacts. We'll go to everybody's favorite contact, Mr. Peter Griffin, who, believe it or not, has a Twitter profile, and his handle is Peter Griffin. So we'll go ahead and save that. And what's happening now is that a callout was scheduled and it's probably executed nearly instantaneously. Let's double check, and sure enough it did. So there you have it. A contact record in Salesforce is now integrated with the corresponding Twitter record based on the Twitter handle.